This is a Vietnamese girl with divorce papers. From the city to the countryside. Spend more than half of your savings on this abandoned farm. Look at this deserted house. And dilapidated houses. Girly tendency. With their own super hands-on ability. How to live a life full of chicken feathers. Transformed into a Garden of Eden that only exists in the movie. The fragrance who just arrived at the place found that the environment was not beautiful. 2 rooms. The dilapidated thatched hut is no longer habitable. But fortunately, the location is good. The trees on the hillside are tall and tall. Dense root systems maintain soil and water. So Ching Xiang plans to renovate the whole thatched cottage a little bit, while dismantling the frame. Keep the architecture in mind. Places with dense vegetation are prone to breeding mosquitoes, so Ching Xiang got rid of all the weeds on the slope and put it on the ground. Increase the usable area. Building a house is a lot for a girl. Difficult. Not only should we consider the strength of the house, you have to understand the framework and sequence of construction. Fragrance on the collected logs with a chainsaw. Open the gap. This is not random stuff. Instead, it adopted a bamboo shoot structure. Fragrance using bamboo shoot structure, after assembling the wooden house frame. With a slender stick to the log of the log cabin. Then use this with insulation. Color steel tile of sponge, spread on the roof. Thermal insulation and waterproof 2-in-1, watching the fragrance climb up and down on the roof. I'm really worried about him. But fortunately after installing the final tile cap, the roof is finished. A new day is coming. Use engineering lines to map out the range on the side of the hut. Then the fragrance dug out the middle height. Low pattern around. Then wrap it with a wooden board on the high edge. This is because cement is used to raise the foundation later. The cement won't be exposed. Complete the cement. And it's going to lay out the entire plan surface. When the cement dries tomorrow, the floor can be laid. Along the edge, spread the tiles on the ground one by one. The current job is not difficult. But when encountering obstacles, you draw shapes on tiles. Use an angle grinder to cut the tiles into the desired shape. And then lay it down. The effect is not bad at all. Xinjiang night view of the sky at night. Observed that it may rain these days. So he put his house on hold. Prepare to buy the animal for yourself first. Cattle build a shack. These animals spent all the savings of the fragrance. Dear, it's amazing. Can't get sick. Clear a clearing next to the hut. Then 4 cement particles are shipped. With some bamboo poles they erected. Just did it for a while. The fragrance sweats profusely. The weather is getting sultry. He has to speed up his progress. Because these 4 grains are going to tether the buffalo, so the foundation must be strong. Fill the knife with mixed cement. Stand down and fix. Then use the waste materials collected by demolishing the house, for simple cutting, and after the frame is finished, the asbestos tiles go in. A concrete column shack takes shape. But it had to have a fence. Because it is a cement particle column, so it is not easy to set nails. Smart fragrance uses wooden sticks and wire. Fix the frame to the grain column. Put a wooden stick in the middle of the wire. Keep twisting. The wire keeps winding and tightening. Eventually formed what it is now. Bring 2 big, 1 small, and 3 buffaloes here. Feed them some favorite food. Soothe the mood. Clear the space on the edge of the bullpen. Clean up the implied weeds. And bring in 4 pillars of the family. Hung them firmly here. According to the same length. Lift the stick neatly. 1 high and 1 low pattern is not wrong. It's designed to keep it out of the rain. After fixing the log, bamboo strips are used to reduce the gaps in the roof. Bamboo again. The pieces weave a bamboo board mesh of the right size. Spread on top. Increase breathability at the same time. It can also leak chicken manure. Boarding the wall. You open the little door, you build the chicken coop. Because of the bamboo strips installed on the roof, so this brown fish liquid, it can sit on it neatly. Avoid a new day for the chicken coop. Xinjiang continues to come back to build its own hut. Use wooden boards for the clubhouse. The stratum corneum above, all shaped clean. And we started carving grooves out of the wood. And use the bamboo shoot structure. Spliced various frames are combined on the wooden house, and on the square wood of the bottom frame. Xinjiang is on both sides of the wood. Pack 2 smaller pieces of wood. Let the middle part be vacated naturally. Long gap. This is measuring the required length of the wall planks. After cutting the board, these planks of the right length, you can follow the gap just vacated. Like the sliding door of a closet, easily stuck in the fragrance. Turned into the wooden walls of the hut. Since the height of each wall is different, so before installing the wooden wall, have to be measured now. Cut. But Xinjiang's way of building walls is surprisingly good. It only took a day and a half. Just finish all the work. By the way, a wooden door frame is also reserved. Bring the remaining sawdust outside. Let them fly with the wind. The next stage of construction begins. According to a certain proportion, cut the planks into triangles. Like installing a plank wall. Put them in place one by one. Then came the production of wooden doors. Put the planks together. Press wooden strips on it for fixing. The love of 3 people is the most superfluous, but the triangular frame is the strongest. Finally, install the lotus leaf at the edge. Fixed to the wooden door frame. This kind of wooden door is quite perfect. Next up are the windows. It's like a shrunken wooden door. And then finally, you get rid of the sawdust. One building. The clean hut is almost done. Now the fragrant wilderness life has entered the right track. Woke up early in the morning and picked some banana leaves to feed the buffalo. Feed the chickens with some wheat rabbits. Then continue to perfect his wilderness manner. Sand all the cabins. In this way, when brushing the moisture-proof agent, it can adhere to the surface more perfectly, due to its location in a subtropical climate zone, so the local humidity is quite high. If there is no blessing of moisture-proof agent, wood boards are prone to mildew and worms. On the east side of the hut, make a flat courtyard with soil. Get the log material that is indispensable for construction, and peeled. Use Lubon to saw through cloth gaps. Open a storage net structure at the head of the log. Along the body of the log at the same time, carve grooves at the waist and legs, because it needs to be connected to the wooden house, on its walls, at the same height of the column. It also takes some work to carve with a chisel root. It is precisely because of this careful basic work. Only on the splicing installation can the fragrance be easily dealt with. One end of the square wood is connected to the wall and stands up, the other side, hugged tightly by logs with grooves. From this perspective, the top bar is not level with the ground, but precisely because he leans down to drain easily after installing tiles. And through multiple losses, the framework of the connection is also quite robust. Fix multiple square woods on it as a collar. Fixing of color steel tile, there's just the right place, about to enter the night sky. Gray. The fragrance of working on the roof is especially strong. The next day, the fragrance rises and we continue to build the kitchen. Fix it to the frame of the base with small wooden strips. It's like putting up a plank wall. By fixing the wooden strips on both sides of the square wood, leave a certain gap in the middle. After measuring the high and low, you can get the wooden board parquet stuck in it. Make sure they don't get caught in the wind, or run away in the rain, as the last plank is finalized. It only took half an hour, because the kitchen needs to be kept open, so at certain intervals on it. Vertical fixed wooden strip. This not only ensures the smooth flow of air while cooking, looking out the window through the cracks. After basic completion, Qingxiang went down the mountain to buy some bricks again, ready to build the stove. Base with cement. Lay red bricks. A layer of cement and a layer of bricks keep piling upward. Go to the middle part and fill in the picture once. Then continue to build. It can be opened about 3 times a meter or so. The top is supported by steel bars for a heightened stove. When cooking, whether it is firewood or stir-frying, without bending over, not so tired, and the fragrance is also very detailed. When grinding cement on top, buried in a first-level wooden section, the stove has. We're missing a kitchen table that can hold sundries. Attach the lower base edge with wooden strips. Use Pythagorean theorem. It's very easy to find the optimum support position. Keep binding the wooden slats at the same intervals. You can make a few simple wind column removal. After completion, Qingxiang found Fangmu again. It still has a cowardly structure designed on its body. Bring the grooved logs inside. Seemingly random knocking. But soon the frame of the wooden bed was spliced together, then connected to the wooden bed surface. I'm afraid this proficiency has been practiced for at least 2 years, but you can't sleep on one board. I can't afford the fragrance of Simmons. You can only use bamboo chips to continuously thin. Pick out the white bamboo meat. Only the emerald green bamboo skin remains. When enough is sent, it can be compiled. And string them together one by one. Cut on uneven areas. A handmade mat is woven. Spread on the bedboard, both beautiful and cool and comfortable. The stove has been dried for several days. It's finally available today. Xinjiang can also showcase its culinary skills here to the fullest. Put a pot on the stove. Take advantage of the gap in boiling water. Come and feed the chickens and ducks at home. Sprinkle the chickens with some corn kernels. Return to the kitchen after feeding the chickens. The water in the pot has boiled. The staple food this morning is instant noodles. Considering nutritional balance, fry yourself 2 more eggs. A simple and delicious breakfast is ready. Hurry up and eat it beautifully with bananas. Even a simple meal can generate a lot of energy. Qingxiang finished breakfast. Put on your coat and walk towards the river. The buffalo at home has not been fed plantains yet. Tired of eating leaves, he was going to change their taste. There are large grasslands by the river, and the grass is really flourishing. That's 1 person tall. After a while, Qingxiang cut 2 big stiles, but Qingxiang is not in a hurry to go back. He turned and walked into the bamboo forest to the side. There are tender bamboo shoots here. This is the season. Go back and fry, it's all good ingredients. For easy portability, the bamboo shoots also need to be peeled on the spot. Wear it with a rattan after peeling. If you hold it in your hand, you can carry it home with the pasture. When you get home, feed the grass to the cement. And they loved it. Enjoy your food happily. Xinjiang plans to use the fresh bamboo shoots brought back to marinate kimchi. Come to the hose first and clean them up. Get rid of the aging part. Only a tender heart remains. Thinly sliced for easy pickling. Marinate for a few days and eat it. Put the cut bamboo shoots. Put it all in a plastic bottle. Just pour in enough salt water. Finally tighten the cap. Put it on the shelf and wait for fermentation. You can eat refreshing kimchi in a few days. There is a lemon tree in front of Xinxiang's house. He carried the ladder to the tree. Some picking big fruits. He's going to make an enzyme juice out of these lemons. Drinking is not only good for intestinal digestion. You can get in shape. Cut the lemon in half from the middle. Squeeze out the juice one by one. Finally, pour the lemon juice into the plastic bottle and seal it well. Leave the rest to time. Let him quietly ferment the fragrance. Get up early and open the door. Simply clean the house. Start a busy day. Today's main task. It's a set of tables and chairs made out of wooden boards. Due to the absence of a table or meal, you can only squat on a small bench every time you eat. He first started working on the planks. Gather them into the size of the dining table. A corresponding card slot is opened on each wooden board. You can put them together. After the upper and lower frames are put together, and they brought in a thick log for the pillar. After measuring the size of the wooden board, make a cross groove on it. So, the assembled frame can be seamlessly integrated into it. After the upper and lower sides are fixed, the base of the dining table is ready. So let's start preparing the countertop. Relative to the bottom frame, the countertop is much simpler. Just cut a few suitable planks. Nailed together, fix it with a few pieces of wood. Then spread it on the base. Then, draw a standard circle with a homemade compass. Follow the drawn line. Just cut off the excess with a chainsaw. A dining table is basically done. Okay, the table is ready. One more chair. Xinxiang is built with a few narrow wooden boards first. Exit both sides of the chair, cross-fixing between frame planks. Just add an extra plank on both sides, can support the card. After the framework is completed, lay a wide plank on top. The chair back is still on slope. Very ergonomic. When it's done, move all the tables and chairs into the house. Place it by the window. Xinxiang hurriedly sat on it to experience. You can see the view from the window. Because of the fragrance, I still remember the banana tree in front of my house, so I didn't stop any longer. He turned around and went to the banana tree outside. Cut down the tall banana tree. Pick the heavy fruit. After picking, go back to the house. Put bananas on the shelf. Xinxiang burned a pot of hot water on the stove. He made himself a small glass of juice, ready to sit by the window and enjoy life. Sipping delicious juice, while admiring the scenery outside the window. It's so quiet and beautiful right now. This is the life that many people aspire to. Consider the need for vegetables for 3 meals a day. Xinxiang decided to cultivate a vegetable field next to the wooden house. Grow your own vegetables, achieving vegetable freedom. First you have to clear the weeds from the ground. The weeds are flourishing. Wipe it all out. There's a whole bunch of them. Use carts to carry these weeds to the edge of the cowshed. Next, Xinxiang waved the hoe in her hand. Start to loosen the land. The land that has been abandoned all year round is as hard as a rock. It took a long time to loosen this land. Put the vegetable patch aside. There is one more important thing right now. Waiting to do. He bought a turbine from outside. And light bulbs for lighting. After connecting the wire, Xinxiang carrying a turbine, heading up the stream. The previous owner connected the pipe from the mountain, and the terrain here is ditch. Chuji Xianxiang cut a log nearby. Cut it in half from the middle. On both sides of the ditch. The upper and lower roots form a frame. So you can use steel nails, fix the turbine to it. After fixing the turbine, Xinjiang connects the wires. Fix the water pipe at an angle that can impact the machine. Next, connect the upstream pipeline. Under the impact of violent currents, the turbine spins rapidly. You can use the kinetic energy of the water flow to generate electricity. The connected light bulb is also successfully lit. After confirming that there is no problem with the power, he wired them all the way home. The wires were fastened to the branches. Make sure it doesn't fall. Extends from the gap in the kitchen wall into the house. Wrap the wires around the beams of the wooden house. Put a light bulb on the light socket. The hut was lit up in an instant. After the electricity problem is solved, he goes outside, considering that the vegetable garden is not spoiled by the depths, and Xinjiang decided to put a fence around it. So the fence is, of course, very locally sourced. The rich bamboo is undoubtedly the best choice. Due to too many, you can only choose to ship it back home in batches. Xinjiang first divides the vegetable field into 3 vegetable cages. The neat vegetable cage is pleasing to the eye. This land is simply too impoverished. The vegetables planted may not grow well either. Fragrance took some hay and spread it on the ground. Ignite with firewood. After the burning grass, the ash left behind is a natural fertilizer. The land is nourished with fertilizer. Only the vegetables planted can thrive. Let's break these bamboo poles into small sections first. Split in the middle. Cut out pieces of bamboo. Sharpen the bottom of these bamboo boards. It is convenient to insert it into the soil for a while. After all processing is completed, fix around the edge of the vegetable field. On the ground, we fix them every 1 meter. Until a full circle. Next, Xinjiang. Put the whole bamboo pole, smash to the adhesion state of the 4-segment flying segment, and it's a big bamboo surface. Take these unfolded bamboo poles, interspersed with bamboo boards around, you get a fence. And leave a small door on one side. Easy to go back and forth. Careful Fragrance is afraid that the chicks will fly in, and they use bamboo chips to weave a mesh on the fence to increase the height. The walls are so that there is no fear of destruction. After all is done, weave a little door in the same way. It is just right to install on it. Shortly after the vegetable garden was completed, it's drizzling from the sky, wait until the light rain passes. It is also the best time to grow vegetables. Vegetable seedlings and seeds purchased by Qingxiang. Scatter the seeds in a row of vegetable fields. The other 2 rows carry many vegetable seedlings. Fertile land plus humid excess climate. I believe it won't be long. We can achieve vegetable freedom. A new day is coming. The vegetable seeds sprinkled in the vegetable garden have grown seedlings. Although there is abundant rainfall here, but the fragrance of diligence, I still have to water them every day. Make sure they grow up fast. Finish taking care of the vegetable garden. He came to the clearing to the left of the wooden house. Clean up the debris on the ground. He's going to build a shower room here. This will wash away the daily fatigue. Due to the high altitude here. The shower room is built here, and there is no problem with drainage. Qingxiang first dug out 4 chicken pits on the ground. The pellet used to hold the shower room in place. After digging, process the chopped bamboo into the right size. For columns according to topography, processing into different lengths. After, you can vary the bamboo pole into the dug season pit. After the 4 grains are set up. Next is the countertop of the shower room. Qingxiang drills holes in the column with a drill. Make sure it fits the size of a small bamboo pole. After drilling, insert the small bamboo pole. They go in and they frame the surface. The upper and lower splices are tightly tied with steel wires. Then on top, lay down a layer of old wooden boards removed from the old house. Compared with the main board, laying not only saves time and effort, stronger still. Just saw off one side of the extra board. You get a neat countertop. The top is also relatively simple to lay. It only needs to be supported by 2 bamboo poles on the column. Then fix some bamboo boards on it. To be stronger. After fixing horizontally, fix the upper line vertically. So put brown fish leaves in the back. There will be better support. After all is done, spread brown fish leaves on top. Pieces carefully bundled and fixed to the frame. Stacked between leaves. Airtight. This roofing material is both economical and environmentally friendly. Smash the bamboo pole to the adhesion state of the 4-segment flying segment. Unfolded is a wide bamboo surface. 3 bamboo slices are fixed on each wall for support. Then you stuck the smashed bamboo noodles on it. It only takes a few to cover a wall. The new box is fixed by staggered front and back. This gives the walls of the shower room a gradual change. Scattered beauty. Leave a door on the front. The remaining gaps are sealed with bamboo boards. The last little door. The same method is used to fix the front and back between bamboo slices. To match the overall tone you prevented, after it is done, fix it to a bamboo pole on one side with steel wire. A small door can rotate freely. The previous water pipe was always placed on the ground at random. Fragrant decided to create a reasonable location for him. In the shower first, a large hole was dug in a corner of the clearing. And then you stick a thick bamboo pole in it. Secure the drill. A small hole is made on both sides of the bamboo pole. While inserting the water pipe, a thin bamboo pole is inserted on the other side to connect to the water pipe. The water will flow out of the bamboo pole along the pipe. This ingenious little design is both practical and another beautiful micro-landscape. The murmur of the stream keeps flowing from it. I couldn't help but take a cold shower outside.